Hey everybody, how's it going? Marcos Villegas being joined with the one and only Hall of Fame promoter, Mr. Bob Arum. And Bob, it's always a pleasure to see you and to be able to chat with you. And honestly, it really is. Another historic build-up to a fight between Wilder and Fury. Tons of promotion being done by both ESPN and Fox for this fight. What early indications have you gotten in terms of pay-per-view sales for the fight?
Well, the type of promotion that we've gotten from ESPN and Fox has been unprecedented. I mean, 2 commercials during the Super Bowl, commercials during the college football championship. It's been amazing, and they've worked really, really hard. Everybody has been collegial in the promotion. It's really been great. As far as estimating the pay-per-view, we can't do it yet from pay-per-view sales. We don't know, because the whole landscape is changing. So many of the pay-per-views are now coming from digital platforms like ESPN Plus and Fox Sports that we don't know how those buys are cannibalizing buys that would have been on satellite providers and cable system. We don't know that yet. It's shaking out, but we think that it's doing unbelievable based on our ticket sales. You know, we'll be sold out, $16 million gate, and based on the closed circuit sales, based on the sponsorship. We really think we have a home run here.
Are the digital sales starting to overtake the traditional pay-per-view buy sales?
We don't know that yet. I mean, what happened was that ESPN Plus had an exclusive on Conor McGregor's last match, and he only could buy it on ESPN Plus, and they sold 1,100,000 on their platform. Now, we know they're doing well on this fight, but again, how much of that is cannibalized from the cable systems and the satellite providers? We don't know that yet, and those numbers come in later.
So you know the McGregor did 1.1, because I know it was reported that they did like over 2 million buys. So you heard that it did 1.1?
Where did you hit 2 million buys?
On the internet, where we hear everything.
No, it did. I mean, that's incredible for them to do 1.1 on a platform that had less than 8 million subscribers. I think that's unbelievable. I mean, they thought it was unbelievable. So I don't know where you got 2 million from.
His media outlet reported that they did that by
His last UFC fight?
Yeah.
All right.
With this fight, you guys, and I say you guys, ESPN and Fox have been working together. It seemed to be going great as of this point. You're seeing that it's working well. So why is it that we can't get this going all the time? Why has it not been successful before, but for this one it has been successful? You guys can co-live and work together and co-promote.
There got to be a start someplace, and this is the start, where ESPN and Fox have worked together on a major pay-per-view fight. So hopefully it'll lead to many more in the future. But it's the start. It's number one.
Have they told you, or vice versa, you have told them that the next co-promotion that you guys want to do is a Spence versus Crawford pay-per-view?
No, we haven't told them yet anything. I mean, Al and I want to get through this one. Once we get through this one, see the results, know everybody has worked well together, we'll discuss future fights.
But you got to think, this is setting the precedent. This is setting the example that other fights, like a Spence-Crawford fight, are going to be easier to make than before.
Well, I would assume so. That the logic tells me that, and we'll see if logic prevails.
Your relationship with Al in the past has been contentious. You've said your opinions on what you felt that he's done in the past. How has that relationship been like with you guys working together, and how is it working with him when you're behind closed doors and actually face to face or talking with him on the phone?
Well, when we did the Mayweather Pacquiao fight, it was horrible. It was a terrible promotion in the sense that everybody was squabbling with everybody else. Contrast to this promotion, where everybody is collegial. He has some great people at PBC. Tom Brown, Bruce Pinko have been terrific. Everybody has worked cooperatively with each other, and I believe that's going to result in tremendous number of pay-per-view buys.
Given the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight and this fight here, the two biggest instances where you did have to reach over the aisle and work with Al, what's been the biggest difference as to the change of relationship then?
The biggest difference is the first one was fighting and squabbling over everything, and a lot of that was because we had our respective networks, Showtime and HBO, were childish because they're really a small program, a small sports program that just does boxing in companies that are essentially movies and entertainment. So they protected their turf, and the promoters were equally bad with each other. Here, Fox and ESPN are big boys. They don't get involved in squabbles over nonsense, and so they really threw out a roadmap for we promoters to work together like they were working, and it's been a joyous, fun promotion for all of us. I think Al and his people would say the same thing.
You would think, given this harmony, that in the future, whenever there's a potential future superstar, that benchmark that was set with Mayweather Pacquiao will be broken because we just have bigger networks in play now promoting these fights.
Well, that's logical, and hopefully that's what takes place. But, the future is the future. That's why they called it the future. The present is the present. Right now, the working relationship on this event couldn't be better.
Your man, Tyson Fury, coming into this rematch, says he's going to knock out Deontay Wilder. A lot of people don't believe him. A lot of people say that it's just him being the sales guy. But when you've had a chance to see him in camp, what have you seen, and how has he looked in the build-up to this fight?
Well, unlike the first fight, he's going to take the fight to Fury, try to knock him out, or if he can't knock him out, hurt him badly, and that will result in I think his ability to win the fight, because he'll either knock out Wilder, but at worst he's going to weaken Wilder, so Wilder can't be effective with a big shot against him.
You've seen so many fights and so many great fighters in the ring. Is that a prudent plan to come at Deontay Wilder?
Well, the fight I remember was legendary because of the rope-a-dope, but that wasn't what beat Foreman. What beat Foreman by Ali was that Ali took the fight to him and got him tired and made him suffer and finally knocked him out. That's the way to beat a big puncher, is to get him tired, weaken him, and if you can't knock him out, you've weakened him, and you can go to a victory by decision.
If Tyson Fury wins this rematch, do you guys want to have an immediate third fight with Deontay Wilder?
It's not whether we want to or not, but it's in the contract that we have it, and only the loser can opt out.
So if he does win, then it's going to happen immediately, or are you guys going to take some time?
Unless Wilder, in that circumstance, doesn't want to do it.
In terms of Tyson's last few fights, he mentioned that he only has 2 or 3 fights left in his contract. Is that correct?
I think he has 3 fights left after this.
Yeah. How do you want to navigate him in those last 3 fights?
Well, obviously, you want to get the biggest fights possible. I mean, we have a contractual commitment for a rematch. Hopefully that's a big fight, but a contractual commitment is a contractual commitment. And then we'll go after maybe Pulev after Pulev knocks out Joshua and try to unify all the belts.
That Pulev fight, it's a green light, or there's still a little things that have to be worked out?
I think we've reached agreement on all the salient points, and now we're going through the paperwork.
Where do you think it's going to end up at?
It's going to end up on June 20th in London.
Do you know what arena in London? Wembley?
Well, that's up to Eddie. It won't be Wembley. It'll be either Arsenal or Tottenham, as I understand.
Has dealing with Eddie been as cordial as this build-up?
Eddie is a good businessman. We've never had a problem working together. Where I have a problem with Eddie is he shoots his mouth off and says things that are stupid, or even if they're not stupid, have nothing to do with him, but he's trying to tear down somebody else, and that is dumb. And Eddie is a pretty good promoter in England. He has been a disaster in this country. I mean, I understand he spent $100 million getting barely 100,000 subscribers for DAZN. And if that's good business, you got to tell me what's bad business is.
With the whole DAZN, we saw Jose Ramirez go over to DAZN, snatch the belts up. Is there any other fighters that you feel can go over there, that you're willing to put over there for fights? Everybody
would go. What the hell? The ring is the same, and it's better than a lot of countries because the language is the same, and they have great fight fans. I had never had any compunction about bringing any of my fighters to the UK.